Welcome back to That's Unfortunate.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Torrie. Hopefully y'all know that by now.
Yeah.
But,
Do you ever just want to be like, we're Courtney?
we're Courtney. Tortellini.
I discovered something recently. I was laying in bed last night whenever I couldn't sleep because I was so highly caffeinated yesterday. Thinking about, okay, can I just like say somebody's name? Does it matter?
You can say whatever you want.
My nephew's name is Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
Cutie patootie. My sister's last name is Stewart. And her husband's last name is Harris. So they joked for a while, like Megan kept her last name, my sister, when they got married. But they've joked for a while about like combining their last names and being Hart. Harris,
Okay.
Stewart, just like really blending it. And I think that's the cutest thing ever. And I realized that a person that I now know in my life, that's kind of my boss next year, his name is Grayson Hart.
That's so weird and random.
Just laying there thinking about how are you my
Pondering
nephew,
life.
but with, yeah, it's spelt differently and stuff, but
still, what are the chances?
yeah. That was just so random, but does it, you think anybody's gonna stalk people? Nobody cares.
No. Maybe one day when we're really, really popular, because we've gone viral.
Yeah.
Maybe then we'll have to worry about it. But at that point, we'd probably delete all the early episodes.
No.
Maybe.
That's them for...
Anytime I go to a podcast that's like been around for a while and it's really popular, I'll scroll back down because I want to start it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it'll always start with like episode 7.
Ooh.
Probably because their audio sucked. Like our audio sucked.
Whatever. So they're trying
and they
to...
just get rid of it. But some of them haven't, and I'll like listen to one. I'll be like, let me go start this from the beginning. And I'll go down and then I'll listen. I'll be like, oh God. I can't listen to this. So that's probably what people think about ours.
Well,
anyways, let's talk about The Handmaid's Tale for a second.
Okay. Maybe that's also what's putting me in a weird vibe energy.
Yeah.
Because the amount of stress I felt when June, so many spoilers, when June gets hung.
Yeah. I was like, this is how she's going. But then how are we going to have one more episode without her, even though I still think she's dying?
Yeah.
I actually think she's dead already.
Realistically, whenever...
Sorry.
when people get hung, like, their neck breaks before they suffocate.
Yeah.
Like, that happens the majority of the time.
Maybe because she was, like, picked up by the crane instead of dropped
down. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't, like, try to... I feel like if she had, like, picked up her cloak and, like, held it or something, then I would have felt like it was so much more realistic. But I was like, she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, what else?
She was up there for a hot minute.
They made that scene so long, and I did stand up, and I don't frequently stand up, but I was just like, ah!
I stand up a lot when I get excited in shows.
I did stand up and think Torrie would be so proud.
Have you... Sorry, pivot for 1 second before I forget. You're caught up on The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoilers for that, too. At the beginning of this past episode, when Joel starts playing the guitar, I knew it was about to be the song that I've been waiting on for forever. And I stood up, and I just stood up, and I was at Lainey's house watching it because it was after Bunko. And she said, what are you doing? Did you have to fart? Like, seriously asked me that. And I said, no, I'm just excited.
I love her so much.
And she said, I didn't know what was happening.
Like, you were not going to fart on her couch.
Like, do y'all stand up to fart?
Is that what... Have we been messing up this whole time? Like, you have to stand up? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That is so funny.
I'm glad you said that because
it made you think of that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Anyways, June being hung.
You can't go straight back into that.
Okay.
It's okay. It's fine.
So,
Handmaid's Tale. Other
Handmaid's
crazy
Tale.
things.
Yeah, I swear to you. Okay, I don't swear to you. I have some theories.
Yeah, you have some good theories.
I have some theories. And I texted you some of them the other night, and I'll probably just say all the same things again.
Yeah.
But me and Aaron rewatched it last night. Only the part after they get caught.
Okay.
Because Aaron, he doesn't care about the first part. But I wanted him to see all of that because it was just very good TV.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to have evidence for all the theories I was about to spit at him.
Mm-hmm.
So, number one, June was up there for a long time. And they took a minute to get her down. And when they take the thing off of her neck, she's already bruised. But then in the next scene, where we just pop randomly back to the safe place, and June's walking around like she didn't just get hung in the air for 3 minutes, at least.
Mm-hmm.
There's no bruise.
Mm-mm.
Not even a hint of bruise. Her hair is curled. Somebody Dysoned that head of hair. I don't know. But so either my theory is that she's dead already, and that's some kind of like dying dream she had, or she's in a coma and she's dreaming it in a coma, or it's just a continuity error and they just didn't put a bruise around her neck.
It is too high of a production.
Yeah.
For it to be a continuity error, right? Like,
surely.
I mean, people make mistakes, but that feels like a big one.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again just to see the lack of bruise too, though, because I did not notice that.
And like when she walked into the safe place or whatever, and everybody was being helped and like triaging and all that stuff, she was wearing an open shirt, like, which we don't see her in a lot. Like, she had on like a shirt that went low, her jacket was open, her neck was fully exposed.
Like it was on purpose.
Like it was on purpose. And the scenes just jumped so quickly with no in between, really. And then, so you're telling me June could just drive Lawrence up to this hangar where all these commanders that are super important and who they've tried to kill multiple times, there's no security there. There's no guards.
And then she also can stand right by the car and nobody sees her.
Yeah. Seems a little
She was outside of the car. She wasn't inside the car.
Which, you know, I guess they had at that point taken Boston. So maybe there wouldn't have been any guards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think there would have been people, guards and stuff. But
yeah, I did think that was all weird.
And then Nick's wife asking him to end her. You need to stop this. What'd she say? You need to end this assault or something. I can't remember how she worded it.
Yeah.
These aren't my theories. These right here. I found these on TikTok. Somebody said that she might be part of Mayday, and she knows Nick is like kind of a liability. Because he, you know, he's just not super reliable sometimes. So she knew that the bomb was on the plane, so she told him to go, to get him out of the picture. Because, which that seems kind of crazy, but you know.
Something's up with the wife too, though, because her being like, the baby's fine, now go do whatever. I don't know.
And she said
and for them to show us, like, her going into preterm labor, I was like, why are they showing us this?
Yeah.
Like, what does this signify? What is it about?
But then when Lawrence got on the plane and he looked back at June and, like, put his hand on his chest, I was like,
I know.
Like, Lawrence wasn't a good person. He was definitely morally gray.
But also, why am I about to cry over this man?
Yeah, because he was sassy.
I loved him.
And funny. And he'd gotten close with that little girl, so that was really cute.
Him reading to her. They did a good job of, like, having him be good and then bad and then, like, just in between and then being so much better. Like, how do they make us like people like that? And Serena, like...
Yeah.
What?
I don't know how they... Maybe it's not everybody. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure people still hate Serena. Even when she is doing objectively good things. But, like, they do a good job at flip-flopping me.
I like her. I like her right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever there was the handmaid in the house, and she screamed at him. I was like, and then she left with her baby. I was like, so proud of you.
Yeah. But then she looked like she was going back to him.
Yeah.
After he gave her that little talk.
Well, he was on the plane, so.
Hopefully, if that's not a dream, hopefully he really exploded. Because every time something happened and they almost killed him and he would get away, I'm like, oh my God, just kill him, please. At this point, though, like, he seems like obviously a bad person, but he doesn't seem like unhinged like Fred was. Like, he seems like kind of more calculated and just overall, like, fiercely religious. I was kind of expecting a shoe to drop and for him to do something like
and also
really
just
crazy.
Like kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like he just doesn't think about the things, and then he's like defending himself.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. I don't know. What if, like, the next scene is just going to come back to June with being hung, and then all of that was like a I'm dying dream, but then she's still actually alive for the last episode, and then she's going to be on the plane or something. I don't know.
Could be. But I think that's a good way to kill them if it's real.
Yeah.
Then, of course, Nick gets on it. No, June can't survive. I don't know how the book ends. Also, the book's like this then, I think. So, like...
And they've done, like, what, 6 seasons? 5 seasons?
Yeah, so they definitely have added stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sure... I just don't see how June lives.
I saw a video where it was, like, just a fake thing of somebody telling Luke that Nick died. And Luke being like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Like,
he's like, that's too bad.
That's horrible. Like, with a big old smile.
But then, Nick, you know, they've made us not like him or whatever. But then when Nick got on there, I was still like, oh, man. Like, I wanted him to redeem himself. But if you really think about it, maybe this was redeeming himself. Maybe he knew that, you know, all these people were about to die, and he just got hopped on that bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see a way that Nick could survive anyway. You know, he's done too much.
Yeah.
And then he told Serena's husband all of that stuff. Like, yeah. I think they were trying to make us hate Nick. Yeah. So that his death wouldn't be as bad, maybe.
There's a lot of discussion online between two types of people, and, like, the big debate is, like, people are saying that the show tried to make us hate Nick. They ruined his character here at the end because they were going to kill him off. But Nick was a bad person from the beginning. Like, they showed him in those flashbacks. He couldn't keep a job. He wasn't reliable. You know, he wasn't a productive member of society whatsoever. He ended up getting into Gilead because he wanted acceptance and to, like, prove himself to men, basically. So, like, the signs were always there.
Yeah.
He literally had sex with June to get her pregnant because Serena told him to.
Yeah.
The signs were there. He's always been a bad guy. He loved June, though.
Yeah.
And so that clouded everybody's minds, thinking, like, oh, he's this amazing person. Like, he's not.
Yeah.
And I still love Nick.
Now
I'm
that
not
he's got another wife and baby on the way, everybody's like,
yeah.
Fuck Nick.
Yeah. So, at the end, he could have been like, you know, he saw June reject him after he betrayed her. So, he is going to go back to what he knows, which is, in this life, he's got it all, and he'll just focus on, you know, his new son that's coming, because I think that was the first time we were told it was a boy, right?
I don't know. Probably.
But anyways, that was crazy. I wonder how they're going to end it. But the Testaments, I saw a interview with Elizabeth Moss, and she was talking about the Testaments, and the book, The Testaments, picks up a 15-year time jump with Aunt Lydia and her 2 children, June's 2 children.
It's like the new series.
Yeah. And in the show, they're not going to do the time jump, which I was worried. I was confused because Aunt Lydia looked like she's about done anyways. She's looking a little old.
Mm-hmm.
If we do 15 more years on her. Also, Aunt Lydia. We'll talk about that for a second, too. That speech she gave, so good.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Aunt Lydia's still a bad person.
Yeah, I still want her to die.
Yeah. But she's not. Because she's going to be in the Testament.
Not die, but she's been through some shit. Maybe it's okay.
She's having her character arc. And I think in the Testaments, she's protecting June's children a whole lot. So,
did you watch it like with binoculars so that you could see every detail? I feel like you see everything.
No,
you just rewatched it.
I rewatched it and also like went on TikTok and like there's conspiracy theorists just breaking down every little thing, and I just consumed all of that media.
Yeah. It's so good that I don't have TikTok.
Yeah, it is. I need to stay off that bitch.
Scary. But great for other people. Somebody last night was talking about how she has a daughter that is, I think she said like younger than whatever age it is that you're allowed to be on like TikTok live. I have no idea how old that would be, but maybe like 12. Is that possible?
I really don't know.
I don't know either, because obviously I'm an adult, also don't have TikTok. But she said that her daughter took her grandmother, her 70-year-old grandmother's ID, and put it on to like her TikTok account, and then put on some glasses and went like at the camera so that she looked old and like scrunched up. And is successfully on TikTok now, on TikTok Lives.
That's great.
So clever, but also
terrible.
What the fuck?
Yeah, if I had children, they would not be allowed on TikTok, actually, until they're at least 16.
Yeah.
And then I would still heavily monitor it.
Good luck.
I won't be having those.
Yeah.
So it won't matter.
It's such a different world. Like, I feel like when I first started teaching dance, social media was like, it was there, but it was like Snapchat, Facebook, like nothing major, a little bit of Instagram. And now it's like totally enveloped all of their world. And so this studio owner is telling me about like the students making TikToks in the dressing room of like the dance recital, and them having to worry about like people being naked behind them, because dressing rooms you get fully naked and change costumes.
Yeah.
And then like them making TikToks about like our show is going so good, and then like really sad faces and something like something's wrong with their show, and just all these things that like he's having to monitor because social media. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm so glad I don't have that. And then also talking about all the drama that like these teenagers will start all just on their social media, from like them commenting, you look great, and then like if it doesn't have the right emoji or the right like little thing to the side, then like they know that that's mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get in a fight.
Jeez.
I feel so stressed.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I really worry it rots my brain.
Yeah.
And I'm not a child, so
yeah, I'm so glad that like I was born the year I was born.
Yeah,
so
me too.
And
that way I had a little bit of childhood that wasn't affected by social media, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't have MySpace until I was probably like 15 or something. I don't know. Probably. I don't know.
I was definitely in like middle school. But I didn't know how to do anything on MySpace. So
I was definitely in middle school.
I had like friends that would do it for me, that would like add the music and the backdrops to it and stuff. I did not know how to do it.
I knew a little bit, but Nikki knew a lot of it, so she would help me with it and stuff.
If MySpace was here today, what number would I be on your MySpace?
You would be top number 1. I would have you as my girlfriend.
Above Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I made a thumbnail. I made a thumbnail today for the pod from last week. where we talked about The Last of Us, and I put a picture of Ellie and Dina, and I put my head on top of Ellie and your head on top of Dina.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I did.
Wait, you're Ellie and I'm Dina?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not pregnant, though.
No. So there's some new Hunger Games cast out.
Oh my goodness. Dun 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 dun. I feel like I have to burp.
I mean,
But
what
it's
you
like,
need to do.
just
Maybe
kind of
stand
like-
up.
It's just kind of like in my chest.
Okay, so we did a bunch of these on the other one. But
Yeah.
Elle Fanning is the Effie Trinket, which is what we said on the last one.
And I said there's no way.
I know. There is a way. So good. Caesar Flickerman is Kieran Culkin.
Oh.
That's really good.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't seen him
I think those are the only two new ones.
in anything that like he's been super animated in, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting
There's
close
Lulu
to...
and Luella.
Oh.
So Lulu is this girl,
Ayana
and
Bell.
Ayana Bell, and then Luella is a different actress,
Yeah.
but they look really similar.
Oh.
Molly McCann. And doesn't she look just like Jennifer Lawrence?
No.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Let me show us side by side. Well, this is about as good as we're going to get. They look alike.
They look similar.
Oh my gosh, they look alike.
I'm sorry.
Anyways. Yeah, those are the only two new ones. But the Hunger Games posted today, if you're interested, they are looking for one fan to be cast in the movie. You just have to upload a video of you acting out a scene or singing a song or something and surprising them. It doesn't matter. And you could maybe be in the movie.
Wow. I'm going to take a video of you?
No, God.
I'm going to sing a song?
I'm not. Can't sing that well. Not a good dancer. And definitely cannot act. So.
Yeah, I can't.
It's just not for me.
I did a show when I was like 20. I did Sweet Charity, which is a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dancing in it. But like all of my auditions, I did like video auditions because I auditioned later than other people did. Like normally you go into like an in-person audition with a bunch of other people. And you would have like a dance call sometimes first and then a singing call. And then like sometimes you might say a monologue and like speak words for the acting portion. Well, I was cast in it as just like an ensemble dancer, and then like I would sing in the background with other people, and they also cast me as like a person that did like 4 lines. And whenever you start a show like that, the very first thing that you do, like when everybody meets, is do a table read. So everybody like sits down, and sometimes the band is there, sometimes it's not there because we had like a live orchestra or a live band, I don't know. And you read all of your lines, and you're supposed to do it in the way that you would do it in the show. But it was one of my first table reads I'd ever been to. It's like, I didn't know. I'm just a baby. I'm just a girl. So I just spoke it like Courtney. Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to be like a really funny line, and I wasn't funny. I don't know. So the next day I got a new script without me being that part. They gave it to somebody else, and I was like, kind of thank you. Like I didn't want to do that. Yeah.
So then you just were dancing?
Yeah, she got to dance and sing. I had a couple of lines, but it was like in between other people's stuff, and it would just be like a one sentence like in response to somebody else. It wasn't, that was like just me on stage with one other person. And it's good that they took it away from me. The girl that did it instead was funny.
Yeah, I don't know what the roles for. They didn't say, but I wonder if it's like a tribute, because they got 24 of them. Because then, you just die.
You literally just die. Yeah.
Anyways.
Interesting.
And on the casting, I asked Aaron, I said, I'll give you 3 chances to guess who President Snow is in the Hunger Games. Like, who's playing him?
Yeah.
These were his 3 guesses.
Oh.
Abraham Lincoln. And who he was referring to was Matthew McFadden from Pride and Prejudice.
Okay.
Not actually Abraham Lincoln. He just, I said no. He said Darius Rucker. And he was like spitting these out at me really fast. No, it's not Darius Rucker. And then his last guess, Guy Fieri.
I mean, the hair would work. Snow.
So, no. that wasn't any of them. Thanks, Aaron.
I started reading Onyx Storm.
Okay.
I'm about as into it as I was Fourth Wing. We'll see. Just because I was trying to start something else. I don't know. And I haven't read it yet, so.
Well, I'm probably going to read that beach book that I bought at the beach last time that I didn't read at the beach because I'm going to the beach.
Yeah. You have to read a beach book at the beach.
And I might take that Holly Black book for the book club.
Yeah. I'm just going to read it like the week that we do it. That way it's super fresh in my mind. I want to read it right now, but if I do that right now, then it's going to be...
Yeah, I might wait, actually, till closer to time.
Yeah. I just can't wait until the day of, because that is what I did last time. But it worked out. I still read it. We both did.
Yeah. I might pick a book to listen to on my way to the beach, actually.
That's such a good idea.
Because I'll be driving by myself.
Something that I recently started doing that I can't decide if, like, it's really fucked up or not is listen to audiobooks on YouTube for free. Illegally. I feel bad. But also, if I didn't do it that way, I probably would just, like, use the book from you or my sister, and then I still wouldn't give them money, so. But I want authors to keep authoring. I don't want them to stop.
I wonder how they get by with putting those on YouTube illegally, because I'm posting YouTube videos with a song and immediately getting a copyright strike.
I have no idea.
Maybe it's different for songs.
Some of them say, like, a review of such and such book. A detailed review.
I think I still have Spotify minutes. I could just pick a book off of there.
Yeah, so, that I've already told you, but it's okay. Fine. Back in the beginning of January, I interviewed at a dance studio to teach for them. And they had posted on Facebook, and then, like, my old boss in Texas saw it and sent it to me, that they were looking for a studio, a dance teacher close by. So I messaged them, sent them my resume, get an email back from a man, and he just says, give me a call. So I talked to him on the phone. He's like, sounds good. Let's meet in person. We meet in person. I meet with him and his wife. His wife is the actual studio owner, but he does, like, the administration stuff. They seem, like, relatively fine. They seem a little weird, but, like, they're okay. They tell me that the building next to them is a furniture store, and it's, like, probably going out of business. They're looking to open up a fourth room, and that fourth room, they're like, that's why they need another teacher, is to expand. So, like, nothing for me to teach right away, maybe in the fall. That meeting ends. At some point during this meeting, also, we talk about my pay rate, and whenever I tell them a number, they go, oh, that's so much money. We don't pay teenagers, but half of that. And I was like, well, I am not a teenager. And then we talk again. I talked to the wife through, like, text message a few days later because they had dance competitions that weekend. And then I talked to the husband at the very end of February. He called me and said, like, well, when you have a chance, send me your availability in the summer. So then I email him, like, a week later, and I say, how much are you going to pay me before I tell you my summer availability? No response. End of March, did you get my previous email? No response. April 22nd, I get an email, call me when you have a chance. So I don't do it because at that point I've got other dance studios that I'm teaching at for next year. And my schedule's filling up, and I just, like, if it takes you over a month to respond, I just am not going to. So then, about a week ago, I get a text message from the wife, and she says, call me when you have a chance. That's all they ever say. Call me when you have a chance. And so I text her. That was on Saturday. On Sunday, I text her back and say, I'll call you tomorrow, because I'm an adamant person about my weekend is my weekend, and I don't work on it. So then Monday, I call her. She doesn't answer. She calls me back a couple hours later and she's like, oh, sorry, I missed your call. I went to the dentist this morning at 8 a.m. and just went back to sleep after I got home. I was like, cool. And then she's like, everything's been going so well. We've got this other building. We're going to start like remodeling it in July, and then we should have it open in August. And, everything's so good over here. And I'm just like, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. That's great. And then she's like, what about you? What are you up to? And I'm like, well, I'm teaching at this studio Wednesday morning, this studio Monday evening, and this studio Tuesday and Thursday evening. And she was like, Courtney, I thought you were teaching for me. And I said, I don't even know what I said. I don't think I at any point said I'm sorry. I think I was just like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. I wish I had a recording of this, honestly, because it's kind of really comical. Also, she has like a little bit of a New Yorker accent. And I wish that I could do that for you, but I can only do like a big New York accent. I can't do a little one. Okay. So just imagine that, like, not a Tennessee accent. This is different. We're upstate.
Yeah.
And she's just like so flabbergasted, cannot believe that I would work for anybody else. She thought that it was a done deal that I was working for her. She's been telling dance families that Miss Courtney is going to work for her next year. She's been telling parents of 2-year-olds, they start at 3 years old, but I've taught before that, like I've taught 6 months and up. So she's telling people that call with a 2-year-old that, oh, yep, we're adding a class next year for 2-year-olds. Miss Courtney's going to be your teacher. She's like done all of these things. She's like, what am I going to do with this 4th room? I thought I was going to be in one room and you were going to be in the other room. And I was just like, I have Wednesday free. At that point I did. I don't anymore. But she was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. Wait until I tell her husband about this. And I just was like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's crazy that I haven't talked to you in 4 months, 5 months, and my schedule is now full. Mm-hmm. It turns into like her asking me about like how open my schedule is on Wednesdays, what time, and I'm like, well, I'm teaching until 11:30, and she's like, oh, and then you've got to eat lunch. I was like, yeah, I guess I do have to eat lunch. And she's like, and you'll be about 30 minutes away. I was like, yeah, I guess so. And she's like, oh, okay, well, so then you can start at 12:30 and then the rest of the day. And I was like, yeah, I mean, technically I also have Fridays free. And she's like, we don't do anything on Fridays. Everybody around here does other stuff on Fridays. They don't dance on Fridays. And I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. She tells me about her summer schedule. She's like, are you free in the summer? I'm like, yeah, I've got July free. I'll be in Texas for a couple of weeks in June, and then I've got July free. And she's like, okay, well, here's how we do summer schedule. Telling me all these things, all of her scheduling stuff. I don't know. And finally she like goes back into I just cannot believe that you're not teaching for me next year, or that you're not open, that your schedule's not open for next year. And I just was kind of fed up at that point. So I was like, I emailed you guys and you didn't respond. So like I reached out to you these multiple times and then I didn't get a response. Then when I finally did at the end of April, it was kind of too late. Like everybody else sets up their schedule much earlier. And she's like, well, we don't do our schedule until the end. And I was like, okay. And my email was asking you how much you're going to pay me, and I didn't get a response to that. So I felt like maybe you guys found somebody else and you just weren't wanting me to teach for you anymore. And she was like, oh, well, I don't email. I don't know you. I don't know anything about you.
How would I know that?
She did mention it whenever we first interviewed, but like, I didn't remember that. Also, I didn't email her. I emailed her husband that supposedly does her admin stuff. And then she's like, well, since you brought it up, how much do you make? And I was like, well, this much per hour. And she, again, my ballet teacher only makes this much, which is about $5 less than what I said. And I was just like, okay, well, yeah. She goes, well, I guess I'll have to talk to my husband and see if we can afford you. I was like, yeah, sounds good. She's like, okay, please let me know if anything else changes. If your schedule changes anymore, please let me know right away. Don't text me right away. I was like, okay, I can do that. And then we get off. Oh, she tells me she's going to talk to her husband and then she'll call me back later that day. She specifically said that day. Mm-hmm. So we get off the phone and I'm like shaking. Like, what do I even do? I text you immediately. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm so freaking stressed out. And then I'm obviously not going to work for her because that was an insane situation.
Yeah.
I texted her the next day and was just like, thank you for the opportunity, but I've got other opportunities that are going to fill up my Wednesday, and I don't have time for your dance studio anymore. By in like a professional way that I could come up with. And she responded, thank you for letting me know, with a smiley face. Crazy.
Literally no communication, no contact for months and months and months, and then she calls you like, what? You haven't just been sitting around waiting on me?
Crazy.
That's insane.
Which, from her point of view, I was working at a preschool daytime, because that's how long ago we talked.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe she just thought like I had a daytime job, and so everything was fine. But in reality, like, I'm a dance teacher. Like, that is my job. That's what I want to do full time. So, like, right now I'm just waiting for August to start so I can have a full-time dancing stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't, I don't know. For her to assume that she wasn't going to reach out until the end of May, and all of a sudden I was going to be totally available for her, not even until August, like, that's crazy. I already feel anxious, and I have my schedule full for next year. I already feel nervous about, like, not starting yet. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't enjoy calling women crazy, but that woman is crazy.
Valid.
Like, maybe I'm a psychopath.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. And now the world knows that the dance world is hard. Dance studio owners. Some of them are really awesome. Some of them are batshit.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not working for her.
I know. Thank goodness.
Yeah, you've told me multiple stories of different studio owners that have been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So
I've had a lot of people ask me, like, the past couple of years since I've moved, like, oh, are you going to open your own dance studio? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, literally never. I don't want the financial burden, one, but also I don't want everybody to be calling me crazy all the time.
yeah.
Because I don't know. There's got to be
Maybe
a way you
it's
can
the financial burden and the stress that makes them crazy.
But I don't think that dance studio specifically is in, like, the nicest part of town. Like, it is so close to the Trader Joe's and, like, the Lululemon.
It's the rich people
and
part of town.
It is the nicest, yeah. And they own the building that they're in, which obviously now they're about to buy the one next to them. They have money. The first time that I met, well, I've only met them one time. The time that I met them, they pull in a really nice car. I feel like it was probably like a Mercedes. Nice. It was pretty. Designer handbag. She's got designer pants on. She has a coat on. Designer jacket, coat, whatever. All of the jewelry. And, like, clearly not like my jewelry. She's from Amazon. These fingers are. These ones are not. But this bracelet, Amazon. You know, clearly not Amazon jewelry.
Yeah.
Like, not that I have a good eye for that thing, but it looks different.
Yeah.
And then she gawks at, like, my pay rate. And I didn't even say, like, I expect you to pay me this much the first time. I said that's how much I used to make in Texas. And where I lived in Texas, like in the Dallas area, dance teachers probably make more money than they do around here. So that's why I was just like, here you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. She made me feel bad.
Weird.
Yeah. I still want to message her and be like, hey, just so you know, you're doing a bad job. I'm not a big fan of yours. You're not very nice.
Not a fan.
She said on the phone call, like halfway through her being mean to me, no hard feelings though. Very hard feelings. I have very, very hard feelings now.
My feelings are hard.
Hurt.
You should have said, well, hard feelings?
Over here.
You
I feel
are the worst.
Yeah. I wish also that, like, I had just hung up on her. Yeah. I was just trying to be professional on the phone call and, like, not hang up. So I kept just being like, oh, wow. That's so interesting that you expected me to keep my schedule open. Like, I feel like I just kept coming up with new ways of saying, like, that's interesting. Ooh, very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched Righteous Gemstones?
I've heard you talk about it before, though. It's got
Danny McBride. and Adam Devine, if that's how you say his last name. There's a few other people that I feel like you might know. There's a new season out, and James and I have been watching it, and I like, it's really stupid humor, but I am like crying laughing at most of the episodes. And like, this is really gross, but one of the scenes we watched last night, there's 3 siblings, and the sister says something to her husband about how she will suck it, fuck it, punch it, or munch it.
Oh my God. What a crazy sentence.
It's in, like, I can't. It's there forever.
Yeah. I've seen people talk about it on TikTok, actually, so it's gaining some traction.
I don't know if, like, you would find it funny, because it is kind of dumb, but I think it's so funny. But what does punch it mean?
Fist it?
That's what I thought. James said, you know, if you just want to get slapped around a bit. And I was like, but she didn't say slap, she said punch.
Yeah.
And munch.
Well, I know what that one means.
She was talking about her man. oh, okay.
That's also where she's going to be punching.
Yeah.
Assuming that's what it means.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, they are a fucked up family. Man, okay, the guy that you showed me, like, the magazine, he was on the...
Foot guy.
What is his name, though? Why is he Foot Guy?
Because his foot looked really good in that magazine cover.
Oh, okay. You said Foot Guy, and I did just, like, see his teeth in my mind.
What else is he in? He's in
White Lotus.
White Lotus.
I'm sure he's in other stuff, too, but I can't think of his name. I'm
so
sorry, sir, because I am a big fan of yours. In that show, his name is Baby Billy. And so, like, all the kids call him Uncle Baby Billy.
Walton Goggins.
Oh, right. I forgot. It's a weird name.
Yeah.
They'll be like, Uncle Baby Billy, what do you do? Like, they've got silly accents.
That sounds like... I have an uncle named Jimmy, and his middle name's Lynn, but everybody calls him Uncle Jim Lynn. It's Jimmy Lynn, but
Jim Lynn.
It comes out of everyone's mouth. Jim Lynn.
There are a lot of things in Tennessee that, like, you just kind of... You just put it together. Yeah. I feel like I enunciate everything so strongly, and I sound very silly.
That's why everybody likes your voice more than mine.
Nobody likes my voice more than yours.
Yes.
Who?
No one tells me my voice is soothing.
Who tells you that my voice is soothing?
Daniel, for one.
I thought he said both of ours.
No, I think it was just you, but that's okay.
He was like, that lack of accent.
Probably.
Lack of Tennessee accent. That's soothing.
Probably. Did you know that mosquito spray will take your nail polish off?
No, but I'm assuming you found that out the hard way.
I painted these.
Is it just
2 days ago?
It has acetone in it, probably?
It has something, I guess, because I sprayed it on myself, and then I came inside, and I was like, why are my nails sticky? And then I did this, and, like, just polish just came off. I'm going to redo them today anyways, but I thought that was an interesting fact.
That is. You learned something new.
Yep.
I haven't painted my nails in so long. Just out of lazy.
That's okay. I'm going to actually do mine with the gel, the hard gel.
Before
I'm going to the beach. I don't feel like it, though. It takes me like an hour and a half.
Would it be faster if you had a partner?
No, it's the curing of it.
Oh. Should have paint and then cure.
Yeah, I just have to hold it under there for so long for some reason.
Is it actually for so long?
It takes me at least an hour for 10 nails.
You want to do mine too?
Yeah.
It'll take 2 hours?
Yeah.
It'll go by faster if we can talk about random crap.
Yeah, because I got other stuff to talk about I couldn't talk about on here.
Well,
due to the...
I talked about stuff I am getting more and more like I keep talking about stuff that I probably shouldn't talk about, you know.
Yeah.
Suck it, fuck it, punch it, munch it.
And that's where we'll end.
Period.
On that note. Okay, so there's 2 new episodes out this week that I just posted. There's one's like 45 minutes, one's 25 minutes. But there's still 2 different episodes that you can go watch. Well, one you can only listen to because something happened with the footage. Sorry.
And that's unfortunate.
And that is unfortunate, but that's okay. Be sure to join our book club. We're doing Book of Night by Holly Black. Recapping that on the 16th of June. Probably.
Woohoo.
As long as your schedule is
Yep.
okay. Okay, good. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please go to the YouTube and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.